Hey, welcome back to Two Man Meta. I'm Mondo Spanner, and today we're going to open a box of double feature. So, trying out new camera angles and a new seating position, and hopefully that should work. So let's get into this bad boy. Now then, double feature, if you don't know, is it's kind of like a specialty product that Magic did. It's a combination of two sets. Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow, and then what they did was they gave like a black and white treatment to everything. So it really appealed to me because I love werewolves, vampires are cool, and I just want I want to see if I can find some good cards in here. There are some obviously really expensive cards, which are the Meat Hut Massacre and Cultivator Colossus and Toxel the Corrosive. They're all mythics from Midnight Hunt. And then Crimson Vow, who even knows what the mythics are from Crimson Vow, because basically it's Crimson Vow in it, all right? Okay, so at the time of filming, I bought this box for £105 or £104.95 from a place called Magic Madhouse. No affiliation yet. Yeah, I want to get into it. I want to give it a go, open it up, see what happens. I just really love I love the flavour of it. I don't really know much about the original Innistrad, unfortunately, but because I wasn't really playing Magic then. But yeah, it's always appealed to me, and basically I've been watching the price. I think it started off around £160. Most places that's what they retail for. So it went down to 120 in the summer. Then I saw it drop down to 120 in September, October time. And then literally in the last couple of weeks, it's come down to 104.95 at Magic Madhouse. So I really, really like that. The fact that it's cheaper than a set box of Brothers War, which literally came out like 2 weeks ago. And presently, we are a week away from the 30th anniversary product that Wizards of the Coast are releasing. Boo that product. Like thumbs down. There you go. You get the knuckles. So yeah, let's have a butcher's hook at this, and yeah, let's get into it. Right, now I'm really excited to open this because basically I bought it a couple of weeks ago. As soon as I saw it was £105, and it's been stored at Auntie Kaz's house. So like, just so I didn't open it. So yeah, man, let's get into it. Let's see what we can get. And if we hit any of those three cards that I just mentioned, that effectively is going to pay for the box. And if we hit a foil one, I'll probably flog it and buy 2 more boxes, because some of the foil prices, especially like Meat Hut Massacre, the foil price for that is like literally double the price of this box. So let's see what we can get. Nice. Oh! The excitement. It's such a cool concept, don't you think? Like, I love like that 1950s horror film kind of feel. That was in the middle. So what do we get? We get 2, 4, 6, 8. So there's 24 packs in here. Let's get to cracking. Okay, now I'm probably going to take my time even on the commons and stuff, because presently I've bought a box of draft Crimson Vow and a box of set Crimson Vow, but I didn't really pull anything of interest, I didn't think. So let's see if we get anything of interest in these. Bye-bye. Right, Eaten Alive. Hedge Witch's Mask, Bounding Wolf, Devious Cover-Up. They're actually really nice, these cards. So you've just got like this little shiny bit of colour, and then the rest is all matte. I actually quite like that. Yeah, that's really cool. Happy with my purchase. So Bounding Wolf, it's got Flash and Reach, 3/2 for 3. It's green as well, so you should be able to get that out quite quick, I would have thought. I'm really interested. There's a card I got from another set called Ascendant Pack Leader. And there was another one. what was it? Basically, it allows you to cheat out any wolf or beast, I think it was, for a couple of mana. So even if you've got expensive wolves and stuff, once you've got this guy out, I think he was one green and 3 colourless. And once you get him out, like, you can then start really going to town. That is pretty on the blue, like the way it goes from blue down to like an aquamarine. That's lovely. Devious cover up, seems expensive. Is there a way of cheating that? No, that's got other effects, but it's not the greatest. Right, Witch's Web, Diagraph Scavenger. Any zombie bear with Death Touch seems good to go. Cradle of Safety, I've got loads of those. That's from, oh yeah, look, there you go, it's from Crimson Vow. So these ones, this. So these 4 are Midnight Hunt. You've got some Crimson Vow ones coming along now. So I wonder if that's how that works out. Now we're on to the uncommons. Firmament Sage. If it's neither day nor night, it becomes day as Firmament Sage enters the battlefield. Whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, draw a card. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if there's one of those that does that for night, because obviously with your werewolves and double-sided cards, a lot of the time they seem stronger on the night side. So I wonder if there's an equivalent of Firmament Sage, or like some kind of instant or action. Let's see if we find one of those. Heirloom Mirror. Spiked Ripsaw, I definitely recognise that. Markov Waltzer. He sounds like he's off the fair, doesn't he? Right, Sludge Monster. That's pretty cool. Oh, it's a horror as well. Hey, straight off the bat, we get a Mythic, Chandra, Dress to Kill. Now, I'm pretty sure when I looked at this last time, that was like the 4th or 5th most expensive card in the set, so that's pretty naughty. And then we've got like this quite subtly foiled Bramble Armour. I quite like that, that's very pretty. I'll tell you what, let's put the rares and the mythics in a little pile over here, or little piles. Cool. Okay, on to the second one. Bye-bye. Pestilent Wolf. Hello, my pretty. Right, so cool. Right, so look, once again, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cards from Midnight Hunt, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 commons from Crimson Vow. Let me just remember what I'm even talking about. Necrosynthesis. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature has, whenever another creature dies, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. When enchanted creature dies, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is its power. Put one of those cards into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library. That seems pretty good for 1 black and 1 colourless. I think I could use that. Nice. Storm Chaser Drake. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's quite a useful little card. Bit of card pull. Bride's Gowns, I've got some of those. Whee, another mythic. I'll take it. See. So, Tainted Adversary. I can't speak. Tainted Adversary. Adversary? Yeah, I can't speak. I don't know what I'm talking about. When Tainted Adversary enters the battlefield, you may pay 1 black, 2 colourless, any number of times. When you pay this cost 1 or more times, put that many +1/+1 counters on him. And he starts off at 2/3. So, I suppose it's kind of an expensive way. Oh, wow. And then create twice that many 2/2 black zombie creature tokens with Decayed. Oh, but they can't block. And then you have to sacrifice it if it attacks. That still seems pretty strong. All right, that's cool. Put him on there. Got the Reckless Stormseeker, so that's a rare. Ooh, and then we've got a Pretty Foil rare. Yeah, Pretty Foil rare. By invitation only, choose a number between 0 and 13. Each player sacrifices that many creatures. That seems legit, doesn't it? Right, let's see if we get that in the middle. There we go. Right, okay, so that's cool. I'll put a foil there. Right, on to 3. Okay, I think I'm going to actually end up checking these a bit more later. So that's those. Oh, that Unhallowed Phalanx. I've definitely seen that before. That's those. Right, so Downheart Wardens. Oh, nice little colour mix of white and green there. Okie dokie. Honeymoon Hearse. It's just what you need, isn't it, when you get married? Cheeky Honeymoon Hearse. Maker's Awakening. Reclusive Taxidermist. Brutal Cathar. I recognise that card. So that's a rare, double rare pack. And then we've got a nice foil common. Bye-bye. Stensia Uprising and Brutal Cathar. So let's just whack them on there. So we're not doing too bad here, are we? Like, you're getting like a that was a double rare pack. The previous two packs have had a rare and a mythic in them. And then this one also had the second pack also had a foil rare. So that seems pretty legit. I quite like that. Let's see what we get here. So, Cipherbound Spirit. I swear that's foil. Oh, that's cool. All right, that's because it's the back of the pack. I'm good at this. Who says I'm not? Cool. So, there we go. There's our Midnight Hunt commons. There is our Crimson Vow commons. And then we're into the uncommons. So, Grizzly Ghoul. Pretty cool. Ritual of Hope, Screaming Swarm. Either that bird's eating a dirty great big octopus or that bird's face has been replaced with a dirty great octopus. That's a bit of a strange one, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe there's an 8th tentacle on there. We'll have a look in a bit. Right, on to the rares. Champion of the Perished. That seems pretty good. If you were to play him in conjunction with that one where you can get twice as many, the Tainted Adversary, he'd be pretty gnarly actually, because whenever another zombie enters the battlefield under your control, you put a +1/+1 counter on him. Well, for 1 black, he's 1/1, but as soon as you start casting this guy out, you're going to start pumping him up quite quickly, aren't you? So that's quite cool. We've got Dying to Serve. I've got this card. That's so basically you're getting a rare from each set, or a mythic and a rare from each set in each booster. That's pretty cool. And then we've got another foil there. That's an uncommon. No, I'll go whack that in the uncommon and common pot. Right, okay, on to the next one. Right. Harvest Tide Century, Component Collector, Pax Betrayal, Moorcrut Behemoth. Moorcrut Behemoth. Oh man, I cannot say that word. Oh well, not to worry. Right, Siphon Essence, Fierce Retribution, and Falcon Wrath Celebrants, and Hookhand Mariner. Wow, man. Right, okay. Don't know what's going on with my words today, kids. They're going in that pile. And so are these in a minute. Right, Foul Play, Outland Liberator, Markov Purifier. I think I've got about 1 billion copies of this dude in like 3 or 4 different flipping styles. So that's interesting, I suppose. Right, get rid of that. Dire Strain Rampage. That sounds quite funny to me. I don't know why. I can't think why. Destroy target artifact, enchantment or land. If a land was destroyed this way, its controller may search their library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped and then shuffle. Otherwise, its controller may search their library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. That's pretty sick. And it's got flashback. So that's even, it seems quite expensive for flashback, but that seems cool. I thought this was the dude who gives you the cheap thingamajiggers, but it's not. This is another guy. I've got a bunch of this guy from when I opened up my Crimson Vow stuff. And a nice, uncommon, Ghoulish Procession. That's cool. Let's go. Right, I just got to move my cushion, kids. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Gavony Silversmith, yeah. Eccentric Farmer, Secrets of the Key, a Tavern Ruffian, ooh, you ruffian. Toxic Scorpion, they're quite cool. Undying Malice, Cruel Witness, Honoured Heirloom. Right, so that was the commons. Voldaren Ambusher, Moon's Silver Key, Arm the Cathars, Markov Retribution, and then we've got a Geist Flame Reservoir. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a charge counter on Geist Flame Reservoir. 1 red, 1 colourless, and tap. Remove any number of charge counters from Geist Flame Reservoir. It deals that much damage to any target. That's pretty cool. And then 1 and red and tap. Exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. Now, I'm a bit of a Magic noob. So I used to play in the 90s, and then I had a life from like 97 to this July, which is July 2022. And then I decided to get back into Magic because all the other games that I was playing either died, got killed off, or were Games Workshop, which is just, they're just weird at the minute. So anyway, so yeah, so that's it. I don't understand this exiling and then playing it that turn. That to me seems like a good way of losing cards. I suppose if you've got a load of mana, it's good, but I generally find I'm quite skinny on mana. I suppose, like, and especially at the speed that the game seems to play, I always find that kind of an interesting way of doing it. So anyways, right, that's that. That was a rare at least, that's cool. Tovolar's Huntmaster. Tovola's, I think I'm gonna go with Tovolar, that sounds a little bit better. So Tovolar's Huntmaster. When Tovolar's Huntmaster enters the battlefield, create 2/2 green wolf creature tokens, and he's day bound. So that means he's got a flip side. So we've got Tovolar's Pack Leader. Whenever Tovolar's Pack Leader enters the battlefield or attacks, create 2. Wow. So he creates 2 green wolf tokens just by turning up. It's quite expensive, but okay. But he's 6/6 for 6, so, and he's green, so I would have thought you could get him out pretty quick. But then when we get him over to Night Side, when he attacks, he then creates another 2. That seems pretty cool. And then he also has this inbuilt ability where you can pay, and then another target wolf or werewolf you control fights a target creature you don't control. That seems pretty good for any zombie death touch kind of werewolves, doesn't it? That's cool. Got another rare foil, Sun Gold Sentinel. That's a 3/2 for 2. That seems legit. Whenever Sun Gold Sentinel enters the battlefield or attacks, exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. And then it's got Coven, 1 white, 1 colourless. Choose a colour. Sun Gold Sentinel gains hexproof from that colour until end of turn and can't be blocked by creatures of that colour this turn. Activate only if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers. That doesn't seem too bad. It seems pretty gnarly just to be like a 3/2 for 2. So yeah, that Coven thing's just a little bit of extra pudding, isn't it? That's cool. Right, I'm going to put that in the little foily rare bit. Hello. Look, it's by invitation only, that pile. Right, so we're almost coming to the end of the first third. We've ended up with 2 mythics, 1 from each set. I've got a feeling I've already got a Chandra Dress to kill, but I'll have to have a Butcher's later. Right, Mounted Dread Knight, Bat Whisperer. There's got to be a TV series in there for that, isn't there? Cathar Commando, Crossroads Candle Guide. Oh, nice. That's a cool pick. I think I saw a video once, and that the complaint was that all of the artwork was the same as it was in the sets, but just turned black and white. But because I've not bought any Midnight Vow, that don't really bother me. I got to lie. I can't lie even. I got to lie. I got to put my teeth in is what I've got to do. Right, okay, so that's all the commons. Adieu. Contortionist Troop. Contortionist Troop enters the battlefield with X +1/+1. Oh, so that's pretty cool. So it's like it's like almost like a pumped creature because it's only 1 green and then X. So that's great. And then this has got a Coven ability. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, put a +1/+1 counter on the target creature you control. So the Coven control then is like having 3 or more creatures with different powers. But that seems pretty strong. I quite like that. That's really good. So if you're like running loads of little like tiddly kind of creatures that are cheap and then have like different powers, like that seems like that could be quite strong and quite useful. I like that. Sanguine Statuette. Soul Cipher board. That looks like a Ouija board. Not that I would know, because obviously I've never done that. That's just weird. Not really. Ouija's lovely, isn't it? Watch it move. Auntie Kaz, have you ever done Ouija board?
Auntie Kaz has not.
Oh, yeah, Sundown Pass. That's cool. Sundown Pass enters battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands. Add a white and a red. I like that. The slow lands, aren't they? They're called. And then a cheeky common foil, Cradle of Safety. I have about 100 weight of these cards. Okay, on to the last third. Oh no, on to the last bit of this last third. Or first third. Man, I need to put my teeth in. Right, Howl of the Hunt. Unblinking Observer, we've had that earlier. Immolation. Oh, I've seen that before. Blood Pact, target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. That's not too bad, I suppose. Scattered Thoughts. Travelling Minister. Voldarian Epicure. Ragged Recluse. Gavoni Dawnguard. Gavoni. One of them, who knows. Right, moving on. A Kessig Naturalist. Fair enough. Undead Butler. Right, onto the rares. So we've got Wake to Slaughter. That is... Choose up to 2 target creature... 1 red, 1 black, 3 colourless. Choose up to 2 target creature cards in your graveyard. An opponent chooses one of them. Return that card to your hand. Return the other to the battlefield under your control. It gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of your next end step. Seems pretty legit. And it's got flashback for only 1 more mana than you originally cast it for. So that's pretty cool. Oh, a Cultivator Colossus. I'll take it. That's awesome. So 3 green, 4 colourless. You've probably seen it before. It's a trample creature. Cultivator Colossus's power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control. When Cultivator Colossus enters the battlefield, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. If you do, draw a card and repeat this process. So if you can get it down, and you're probably going to be getting it down with a couple of lands anyway, it's going to be fairly strong, isn't it? So that seems awesome. In the Mythic pile, baby. And then Component Collector is a common foil. Bye-bye. Right, into the second pile. Oh, this is awesome. I've been waiting a good amount of time to do this. I cannot wait. Right, okay, so Lambholt Harrier. I really can't speak today. Right, Duress. That's in quite a few sets, isn't it? Isn't there the one with like that lady with the spikes in her face? Seems unlucky for her. Right, Unruly Mob, Snarling Wolf, Nebelgast Beguiler, Blood Petal Celebrant, Dawnheart Disciple, Vampire's Kiss. Yeah, right. Rite of Oblivion, onto the uncommons. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a non-land permanent, exile target non-land permanent, and it's got flashback. Okay. Phantom Carriage. Whispering Wizard. Sorry, I mean Whispering Wizard. Ha ha ha. No, that's right, I'm not very funny. Oakshade Stalker. Onto the rares. Suspicious Stowaway. 1/1 for 2, 1 blue, 1 colourless. Suspicious Stowaway can't be blocked. Whenever Suspicious Stowaway deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, then discard a card. That seems all right. Oh, and you've got a flip side as well. Seafaring Werewolf. Oh, that looks gnarly. Look at that picture, that's ace. Seafaring Werewolf can't be blocked, shockingly. Whenever Seafaring Werewolf deals... Oh, right, so that's the same thing. That's pretty cool. Except it's just got slightly stronger, hasn't it? It's 2/1 instead of 1/1. Okay, cool. That's a cool card. I like that. Right, Welcoming Vampire. Flying, whenever 1 or more other creatures with power 2 or less enter the battlefield under your control, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Still seems like quite a useful card draw. That's cool. And then we've got a Vile Spawn Spider foil. It's got reach like all the other spiders. At the beginning of your upkeep, mill a card. I don't really want to do that. Okay. That's probably a place for a deck. There's probably a place in some deck for that. I can't see it. But as I say, I'm a Magic noob. So if you've got a problem with that, I do apologise. Moving on. Smooth. That's how the smooth people do it. Jesus, I have no idea what's going on now. Oh, I reckon that's going to go like that. Let's hope. Oh no, look, we've already got uncut. There you go. See, now that's why you tune in. It's for this high-end hand agility. All right? Right. Straight into the uncommons. So we've got Infernal Grasp. Destroy target creature, you lose 2 life for 1 black, 1 colourless. I don't really understand why I've got to lose 2 life to do that. Defend the Celestus. Distribute 3 +1/+1/+1 counters among 1, 2, or 3 target creatures you control. That seems really good, just pricey. Runebound Wolf. That seems good. If you've got a wolf or a werewolf deck, which is what I want to do, Runebound Wolf deals damage equal to the number of wolves and werewolves you control to target opponent. That could get real interesting with like wolf tokens and generating those. Lunar Rejection. So cleave, return target wolf or werewolf creature to its owner's hand. Draw a card. You may cast this spell for its cleave cost. If you do, remove words in square. Oh, right. So return. Is it like, does anybody else out there, is it me or is these cleave cards written in reverse? You may cast this spell for its cleave cost. If you do, remove the words in square brackets. So if I pay this monies, I can do any creature. If I don't pay the monies, then I can only do wolves or werewolves. It just hurts my mind every time I read them. Right, okay, that's enough of that. Let's not dwell on my illiteracy. Can't Stay Away, 1 white, 1 black. This is one of our rares. Return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains. If this creature would die, exile it instead. That seems pretty good. That seems really good, actually. I like that. Okay, that's cool. Hey, Headless Rider. Whenever Headless Rider or another non-token zombie you control dies, create a 2/2 black zombie creature. That seems to go well with other assorted thingies. He's cool. And then our foil is a blood-crazed socialite. Aren't they all? Right. Then we're back into the common world. Oh, that's quite interesting. So I managed to flip all of the commons from the front to the back. Kudos to me. Right. Bye-bye. Celestus Sanctifier. Okay. Bramble Armor. Got a foil of that earlier on. Revenge of the Drowned. Stuffed Bear. It's had too many marshmallows. Shelter in Boughs. Grisly Ritual. Alchemist's Retrieval. Oh, Evolving Wilds. That card is there's a card, isn't there, in Brothers War where it's a green creature and she makes all of your lands, basic lands. That makes Evolving Wilds crackers. So both, and that's in your deck and in your hand. So, or in your library and in your hand. So that seems really, really strong. Like if you could get her out with Evolving Wilds, that'd be awesome. Right, the Root Coil Creeper. 2/2 for 1 blue, 1 green. Tap to add 1 mana of any colour. Tap to add 2 mana of any 1 colour. Spend this mana only to cast spells from your graveyard. So that makes your, what's that mechanic where you bring them back? I can't remember what it's called now. That still seems really good. And then 1 blue, 1 green, and tap it. Exile Root Coil Creeper. Return target card with flashback you own from exile to your hand. So, it's flashback, isn't it? There we go. So this seems like a really useful card in flashback decks. I quite like that a lot. Fangblade Brigand. Bridge Hand. Oh no, that's a card game. Oh no, this is a card. Oh, right. Don't worry about it. Right, okay, so Fangblade Bridge End. No. Blade, Fang, and Brig. That means that's where we're at. So for 1 red, 1 colourless, Blade, Fang, and Brig gets +1/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. Daybound. Oh, let's flip him over. So we've got a werewolf now that's 4/5 and enjoys eating knives. He needs to watch out for that. That's going to ruin his dental work. Right, Lantern of the Lost. Oh, I've seen this before, I think. Yes. This seemed quite good when I read it before. So it's an artifact for 1 colourless. When Lantern of the Lost enters the battlefield, exile target card from graveyard. And then 1 and tap it, exile Lantern of the Lost, exile all cards from all graveyards, then draw a card. That seems pretty good to me, to like deal with people's decks if they are doing that exile, no, flashback mechanic. It's very useful, isn't it? Swordblade Slinger. When Swordblade Slinger enters the battlefield, choose up to 1. Destroy target artifact an opponent controls, or Swordblade Slinger fights target zombie an opponent controls. Okay. Ooh, Bloodline Culling. 2 blue, 1 colourless. Choose 1. Target creature gets -5/-5 until end of turn, or creature tokens get -2, -2 until end of turn. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's not too bad for 2 black and 1 colourless, I feel. Oh, we've got another mythic. Poppet Stitcher. Okay. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 2/2 black zombie creature with Decayed. We've seen that on the previous card, that mechanic. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more creature tokens, you may transform Poppet Stitcher. If we transform him, we get the Poppet Factory. That's cool. That is a cool picture. That's awesome. Creature tokens you control lose all abilities and have base power and toughness 3. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may transform Poppet Factory. Oh, that's really cool. So he's a human wizard that turns into an artifact. I like that. Right, on there. And then we've got a foil Cathar's Call. We saw that earlier on. Okie dokie, so we're halfway through. Okay, Moonraid Brute. That's a foil. Oh, so we've got a... I've got to get good at this. So we've got a foil anyway on the back. There we go, there's the beginning. So here's our commons. Electric Revelation, Olivia's Midnight Ambush, Clarion Cathars, Gale Drifter, Militia Rallier, Bloody Betrayal, Massive Might, Mind Leech Ghoul, Vivisection. That's one to make you wince, isn't it? 1 blue, 3 colourless. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature, draw 3 cards. That seems like a lot of pain for drawing 3 cards. Sunset Revelry. If an opponent has more life than you gain 4 life. If an opponent controls more creatures than you, create 2 1/1 white human creature tokens. If an opponent has more cards in hand than you, draw a card. If an opponent has more life than you gain 4 life. Okie doke. If an opponent controls more creatures than you, create 2 1/1 white human creature tokens. If an opponent... That seems really good for 1 white and 1 colourless. Yeah, I like that. That's awesome. Okie doke. Archghoul of Thraben. That's just gnarly art. This guy looks awesome. I mean, I'd have to get out a flipping loop to be able to focus on the detail, but that's cool. And he's got like little dudes coming out of the ground behind him. What's he do? So 1 black, 2 colourless. Whenever Archghoul of Thraben or another zombie you control dies, look at the top card of your library. If it's a zombie card, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. If you don't put the card into your hand, you may put it into your graveyard. Cool. Seems all right. Radiant Grace. Curse of the Shaken Faith. Enchant player. Whenever enchanted player casts a spell other than the first spell they cast each turn or copies a spell, Curse of Shaken Faith deals 2 damage to them. That seems fairly strong for 1 red, 1 colourless. I like that. Old Rustine. No, Old Rutstein. I have to start reading, don't I? When Old Rutstein enters the battlefield or at the beginning of your upkeep, mill a card. If a land card is milled this way, create a treasure token. If a creature card is milled this way, create a 1/1 green insect creature token. If a non-creature, non-land card is milled this way, create a blood token. Okay, that's pretty cool. And then we've got a Brutal Cathar. So we've seen this guy, but that in foil looks really nice. Like the fine detail in there is really, really nice. Don't know if that comes out very well on there. Then he turns into a Moonrage Brute, which we've already spoiled because I'm inept at opening packs. So first strike, ward, pay 3 life. I do like it when the ward is that your opponent has to pay life. I think that's strong. And then Nightbound is just that he's on his night side. But 3/3 with first strike seems good. And then when this creature enters the battlefield or transforms into Brutal Cathar, exile target creature an opponent controls until this creature leaves the battlefield. So if you can get him flipping, you can do some work there, can't you? He's only 2/2, but 2/2 for 3 seems all right. And also with that exile ability, that's pretty cool. If you can get him to live for long enough, he'd be pretty gnarly. Right, and also because he's a human soldier werewolf, you can buff him. So that's really useful with multiple things there, because soldier... Well, all 3 of those keywords are well strong. Or, you know, you can buff them nicely. So that's cool. I like that. Halfway mark, we've got 4 mythics, a plethora of rares, and a couple of... Oh, that opened nice and easy. And a couple of foil rares. That's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that. And when I say pretty happy, I mean I'm happy. Right, on to the commons. Timberland Guide, Otherworldly Gaze, Festival Crasher, Harvesttide Infiltrator, Skywarp Scarb, Estwald Shield Basher. Damn it, I almost did an entire set of commons there. Did you see that without getting a word wrong? But I know, I messed it up. Daybreak Combatants. Right, and a Binding Geist. I think I had one of them last night. Right, Sunrise Cavalier. 1 white, 1 red, 1 colourless. Trample and Haste for a 3/3. If it's neither day nor night, it becomes day. Hold on, have we already seen? Oh no, that was another thing, wasn't it? As it enters the battlefield, whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Seems legit. I like it. Have we seen that already? I can't remember. Don't worry about it. Whenever 1 or more non-token creatures die, create a 2/2 black zombie creature with Decayed. This ability triggers only once this turn. Resistance Squad. When Resistance Squad enters the battlefield, if you control another human, draw a card. That seems pretty cool. Thirst for Discovery. I bet you that would look quite good in colour, actually. I mean, it looks all right in black and white, but I bet that looks really good in colour. If this, you know, if this like sheet flaming or whatever it is, that looks right. So 1 blue, 1 colourless, draw 3 cards and discard 2 cards unless you discard a basic land card. Okay. Let's have a Rite of Harmony. Hold Hands. It's white and green. Whenever a creature or enchantment enters the battlefield under your control this turn, draw a card. Seems all right. And it's got flashback as well. Okay, that's cool. And then we've got a Change of Fortune. Discard your hand, then draw a card for each card you discarded. Okay. And then we've got a Stitched Up Assistant. Or Stitched Assistant. Exploit. When this creature enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice a creature. When Stitched Assistant exploits a creature, scry 1, then draw a card. Oh, okay. That's not too bad. It's common. Right, moving on. Common foils. We love them. I wonder if we'll get a mythic foil. That'd be cool. Had a couple of rares, so that's quite cool. Oh, well, whatever we've got a double-sided foil, because I've just seen it. And probably serve you. Right, Bloodbrand, Ritual Guardian, Duel for Dominance, Organ Hoarder, Bramble Armour, Doomed Dissenter, Stitched Assistant, Adamant Will. Yes. Said them all without making a mistake. Ah, that's awesome. Right, Winter See, I messed it up immediately. Winterthorn Blessing. 1 blue, 1 green. Put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature you control. Tap up to 1 target creature you don't control, and that creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. That seems pretty nice for just, you know, 1 blue, 1 green. A Covetous Castaway. When Covetous Castaway dies, mill 3 cards. And then he's got Disturb. You may cast this card from your graveyard for many, many. No. Ollenbach Escort. Vigilance. Sacrifice Ollenbach Escort. Target creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it gains lifelink and indestructible until end of turn. I quite like that. For 1. I have to sacrifice it. That's not too bad, I suppose. A Gutter Skulker. I've seen that before. I recognise that art, but I'm sure it was different. Obviously, it had colour when I last saw it. A Patrician Geist. Flying. Other spirits you control get +1/+1. Spells you cast from your graveyard cost 1 less to cast. Seems like it could be useful in quite a number of decks. Let's put him up here. Overcharged Amalgam. That's like an expensive dentist, isn't it? So 2 blue, 2 colourless, flash, flying, and exploit. When Overcharged Amalgam exploits a creature, counter target spell, activated ability, or triggered ability. When Overcharged Amalgam exploits a creature, counter target spell, activated ability, or triggered ability. Oh, and he's got flash. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, that's a pretty cool way of getting things out. Cool. And then Alluring Suitor. When you attack with exactly 2 creatures, transform Alluring Suitor. Oh, I've got loads of this dude. Yeah, Deadly Dancer dude. All right, cool. You get quite a few of those if you open up a bajillion Crimson Vow packets. You'll be shocked to hear. Famished Foragers. When Famished Forager enters the battlefield, if an opponent lost life this turn, add 3 red. That seems pretty cool. Nice common. Novice Occultist. Search Party Captain. Path to the Festival. Search your library for a basic land card. Put that card onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Then if there are 3 or more basic land types among your lands you control, scry 1. Yeah. Flame Blessed Bolt. That's quite nice for that's quite nice actually, isn't it? That's a bit like is it Scorch? Shock. It's like Shock, except it exiles the creature. That's pretty cool. Nature's Embrace. Aim for the head. Ooh, pointy. I love that artwork, man. Drog Skull Infantry. Ooh, a Purifying Dragon. That's cool. Broodweaver. Vile Spawn Spider. A Blood Hypnotist. Curse of Leeches. That is a cool piece of picture. That's a cool piece of art. That's a cool picture. Enchant player. As this permanent transforms into Curse of Leeches, attach it to a player. As this permanent transforms into Curse of Leeches, attach it to a player. At the beginning of enchanted player's upkeep, they lose a life and you gain a life. That's pretty cool. What happens on this side? Oh, we've got another land. I like it. Leeching Lurker. Lifelink, Nightbound, 4/4. Seems pretty good. And it's a horror. I like that. That's a cool card. Dreamroot Cascade. Dreamroot Cascade enters the battlefield tapped, so it's a slow land for blue and green. That's nice. And then we've got a Famished Forager. Oh, we saw them at the beginning of the pack. So that's pretty, it's like the alpha and the omega of this pack. Right, let's get rid of that. Onto it. Boosh. So we're at the end of the second third. I'm genuinely interested to see if we get a foil mythic. Got no mythics in that third, did we? I don't think. No, and kind of like, Running low on the old foil rares. I'll put my teeth in, hold on. Right, Geist Wave. I'm going to get the words right this time, kids. Don't sweat it. Burn the Accursed. Diagraph Horde. Bait Hook Angler. Wretched Thong. Nurturing Presence. A Kessig Flame Breather. Blood Servitor. That's just a cool looking card. A cool picture. Odric's Outrider. Whenever Odric's Outrider or another creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Corpse Cobble. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice any number of creatures. Create an XX blue and black zombie creature token with Menace, where X is the total power of the sacrificed creatures. Okay. Why am I doing that? Just to get Menace. And it's got a flashback. Okay. Oh, sacrifice any number of creatures. Oh, so I can put loads of weenies together then, can't I? To turn them into a massive blue-black menacing zombie. Okay, that's kind of cool. Laid to Rest. Whenever a human you control dies, draw a card. Whenever a creature you control with +1/+1 counter on it dies, you gain 2 life. That seems like an alright enchantment. Especially with the amount of counters that you're distributing through the other cards in the sets. That's cool. A Wolfkin Outcast. This spell costs 2 less to cast if you control a wolf or werewolf. Okay, so at least he gets... Oh, that's not too bad then. So once you've got a wolf or werewolf out, you're casting this guy for 1 green and 2 colourless for a 5/4 werewolf. That seems pretty good. Has he got a flip side? He does. Oh, we've got another mythic coming up. Wedding Crasher. Whenever Wedding Crasher or another wolf or werewolf you control dies, draw a card. Nightbound. Cool, man. And he's 6/5. So you could get out quite a cheap, large creature there. That's pretty cool, man. Sigarda, Champion of Light. 2 white, 1 green, 1 colourless. A 4/4 Flying Trample. Humans you control get +1/+1. Nice. And then whenever Sigardia attacks, if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a human creature card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. That's cool. So that's on the mythic pile. And then we've got a Lantern Flare. So 1 white, 1 colourless, or we can cast it as a cleave for 1 white, 1 red and X colourless. Lantern Flare deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker and you gain X life. Oh, where X is the number of creatures you control. I was going to say, like, how does that work? That's cool. How does that work? See, look, here we go, right? Oh, so I remove those for the cleave. Right, so I can cast it for cheap with loads of creatures. Or alternatively, I can cleave it for loads of mana. Okay. All right, that seems, that doesn't seem too bad as it goes. Oh, and then a Foily Purifying Dragon. I do actually really quite like the foil on here. It's almost got like a grainy... In actual fact, all of the artwork in here has got like the graininess to the black and white, and that kind of like keeps that whole 1950s, 60s horror film vibe going. I really quite like it. I know like Crimson Vow and what's it called? Midnight Hunt are pretty maligned sets, but I do actually really quite like the style. Right, 2, 4, 6, 8. We're on to our last third. Picked up a mythic in that very last pack of that second third. Should we move these up a bit? Let's move these up a bit. Oh, this is going to totally wreck my piles. Yeah, cool. Still no more gold, no more foil rares. Well, almost shot them all over the place again. Right, Organ Hoarder. Don't want to be talking about shooting things all over the place when you've got an Organ Hoarder in hand, do you? Famished Foragers, Novice Occultist, Bird Admirer, No, they feel. Doomed Dissenter, Stitched Assistant, Adamant Will, Flame Blessed Bolt, cool card, Ominous Roost. I read that totally different. Right, when Ominous Roost, so for 1 blue, 2 colours, when Ominous Roost enters the battlefield or whenever you cast a spell from your graveyard, create a 1/1 bluebird creature. Right, hold on. When Ominous Roost enters the battlefield or whenever you cast a spell from your graveyard, create a 1/1 bluebird creature token with flying, and this creature can block only creatures with flying. Okay. I read that as Ominous Roast. So if you're not from England or Britain and you don't have roast every Sunday, an ominous roast is what I read that as originally, which is why it threw me for a loop. Although that also could be a chicken, so that would work out. Anyways, moving on. Storm Skrillex, flying. Oh, 1 blue, 1 red, 1 blue, 3 colourless, flying. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Nice. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, this guy gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Seems legit. Valorous Stance. Choose 1. Target creature gains indestructible until end of turn, or destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater. That seems very nice for 1 white, 1 colourless. Blood Tithe Harvester. I have so many copies of this card. It's ridiculous. Burn Down the House. Oh, yeah. 2 red, 3 colourless, choose 1. Burn Down the House deals 5 damage to each creature in each planeswalker, or create 3 1/1 Red Devil creature tokens with, when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. They gain haste until end of turn. Now, I've got a comedy red and white deck where it relies on Stormwing Capradors. And so basically I have like loads and loads of direct damage that I just then either pump the Stormwing Capradors with, or alternatively I delete other things with. So this seems like this could be quite hilarious for them. It's like almost like a board wipe plus pumping my Stormwing Capradors. So I quite like that. That's quite cool. And then Ludovic Necro Genius. Legendary creature, human wizard, 1 black, 1 blue. He's a 2/3. That seems good for 2. Whenever he enters the battlefield or attacks, you mill a card. And then 2 black, 2 blue, and X colourless. Exile X creature cards from your graveyard. Transform Ludovic. X can't be 0. Activate only as a sorcery. So he's 5 to transform. What does he turn into? Like flipping Frankenstein's monster. Olag, Ludovic's Hubris. As this creature transforms into Olag, Ludovic's Hubris, it becomes a copy of a creature card exiled with it. Oh, okay, except its name is Olag, Ludovic's Hubris. It's 4/4 and it's a legendary blue and black zombie in addition to other colours and types. Put a number of +1/+1 counters on Olag equal to the number of creature cards exiled with it. Okay. So doesn't that, yeah. So as long as you do more, so I suppose you have to sacrifice a card that's really, really good. Exile a card that's really, really good. Like, you know, that's got a strong power and toughness from your, whatever it's called. Bin. I can't think of the word. Discard pile. So I suppose if you've gone through cards, or there's quite a lot of cards in here, isn't there, that mill you. So therefore you could have milled away a good creature like that Cultivar Colossus. No, that's no good because that's like star, isn't it, to start with? Oh, well, whatever. That seems okay. Like, I think I'd have to design something around that to make it work really, really well. And then our last card is a Dominating Vampire, and it is a foil rare, so that's cool. When Dominating Vampire enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature with mana value less than or equal to the number of vampires you control until end of turn. Untap that creature and give it haste. 2 red and 1 colourless. That seems pretty good. Cool. Right, onwards. Right, commons then. Search Party Captain, I can say that. Path to the Festival. Geist Wave, Lunark Veteran, Nature's Embrace, Aim for the Head, awesome. Wretched Throng. When Wretched Throng dies, you may search your library for a card named Wretched Throng, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Oh, that's kind of cool. I suppose you only need like 2 of those really then in your deck. Blood Servitor. Okie doke. Play with Fire. That's pretty cool. 1 red, Play with Fire, deals 2 damage to any target. If a player is dealt damage this way, scry 1. So it's kind of like a shock with a little bit of extra goodness. That's quite cool. Morbid Opportunist. Whenever 1 or more other creatures die, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. I quite like that. That's a cool picture as well. That's a cool picture with a cool name. Casting cost is slightly meh. But whenever 1 or other creatures die, draw a card. Seems good. A Diver Scarb. Now, I remember this. Oh, no, it's not double-sided. I'm sure there's a double-sided one where it had like a guy with a hat on. Anyway, I've seen this, or a diving helmet even. Cool. I've seen that before. Child of the Pack. I've got quite a few of those. I thought it was a good card. And then Auntie Kaz had a go at me. And I've had to reevaluate. Then we've got another slow land. Haunted Ridge. So that's cool. I haven't got any of these Midnight Hunt slow lands yet. And this one's black-red. So that's cool. I really like that. Badoosh. Hamlet Vanguard, Ward 2, useful. 1 green, 2 colourless. Hamlet Vanguard enters the battlefield with 2 1/1 counters on it for each other non-token human you control. That seems really strong. If you can get out the humans beforehand. That's cool. Not double-sided. Boosh. And then Ominous Roost. We've talked about that already. That is when you've got a dodgy roast dinner. Moving on. Bye-bye. Right, commons, Burn the Accursed. Burn the Accursed deals 5 damage to target creature and 2 damage to that creature's controller. If that creature would die, exile it instead. That seems expensive, but cool. And that artwork is very cool. Diagraph Horde, Candle Grove Witch. Isn't that the lass off the front of the collector boosters or whatever? Silver Bolt, Nurturing Presence, Kessig Flame Breather, Snarling Wolf. That's a little pumpable 1/1 wolf. I quite like that actually. I wonder if we've got any other of those. I can't remember. Fearful Villager. Flesh Taker, Human Assassin. I don't really feel like that assassin is going to be too selfie with too stealthy, not selfie. I don't think he's going to be too selfie either with a flipping massive like moo head, but and a cleaver. That's one of the least assassin-looking assassins I've ever seen. I wonder what's going on with that. Anyway, 2/2 for 2, 1 black, 1 white. Whenever you sacrifice another creature, you gain 1 life and scry 1. And then 1 colourless, sacrifice another creature and it gets +2/+2. That could be really useful with creature tokens, I suppose, if you've got a way of generating those. It could make him absolutely massive. Mystic Skull. Okay. Dread Fugue. Got Cleave. Target player reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it with mana value 2 or less. That player discards that card. Okay, cool. So if you pay the Cleave cost, then you can basically get rid of anything. I think I'm getting used to Cleave now. Or alternatively, you can pay 1 black and then it's got to have mana value 2 or less. Okay, that's quite cool. Into the Night. Isn't that like an old Def Leppard tune or something? Anyway, it becomes night. Discard. Hey, it becomes night. Oh, it's expensive. Oh. Sad face. It becomes night. Discard any number of cards, then draw that many cards +1. Okay. Right, Croaking Counterpart. Oh, it's the frog card. I think I've seen this before, but I haven't got this set. Create a token that's a copy of target non-frog creature, except it's a 1/1 green frog. And it's got flashback. Great. Oh, another land, Death Cap Glade. This one is a slow black and green land. And then a Jack-o'-lantern, which has got a gnarly picture in foil. It looks ace. I really like that. The candles. The dude, was that a priest with an like he's putting a lot of time into growing his pumpkins, this lad. That's cool. I like that. Right. Getting to the end, man. So 5. I don't know whether 5 mythics counts as a good amount of mythics out of one of these boxes. 3 rare foils seems pretty cool, and that's a lot of what are they called, rares. So let's have a look. Right, commons, Return to Nature. That's cool. Startle, Moonrager's Slash, Ecstatic Awakener, Persistent Specimen, Fear of Death, Sigardia's Imprisonment, Sure Strike. Then we're on to our uncommons. Clear Shot. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. It deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. That doesn't seem too bad for 1 green and 2 colourless. Hungry for More. Wow. 1 red, 1 black. Create a 3/1 black and red vampire creature token with trample, lifelink and haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of your next end step. And then it's got flashback as well for 1 more colourless. That seems fairly useful. Skull Scarb. I'm not going to read that. Panicked Bystander. Wonder if we're going to get something good this time. Memory Deluge. 2 blue, 2 colourless. Look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast this spell. Put 2 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. And then it's got flashback for 7. So if you cast it from hand, then you are doing it for, then you're looking at 4 cards, aren't you? And putting 2 of them into your hand. And if you flashback it, then you are you're going to be looking at 7 cards and putting 2 into hand. That seems really quite nice. By invitation only, we got as a foil earlier on, so that's cool. And then we got a twin blade Geist in foil. That's fairly pretty. Right. Oh, we're into the last, the last half of the last third. So what's that? The last 6. No Way Out, Sungold Barrage, Dawnheart Rejuvenator, Bait Hook Angler, Apprentice Sharpshooter, Gift of Fangs, Steelclad Spirit, Weaver of Blossoms, Blood Tithe Collector, Thermo Alchemist. That's cool. That's a cool picture. Witness the Future. That's also very nice. So 1 blue, 2 colourless. Target player shuffles up to 4 target cards from their graveyard into their library. You look at the top 4 cards of your library, then put 1 of those cards into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Seems quite cool. Fleeting Spirit. Augur of Autumn. So Human Druid. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may play lands from the top of your library. As long as you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, you may cast creature spells from the top of your library. Cool. That's a cool Coven ability. And then 2 green and 1 colourless. We've got a Graph Reaver. When Graph Reaver exploits a creature, destroy target planeswalker. That feels strong. At the beginning of your upkeep, it deals 1 damage to you. I've got a couple of these, I think. Oh, and then we've got another foil. Rare. Can't Stay Away. 1 black, 1 white. Return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains. If this creature would die, exile it instead. That is a pretty cool card. I like that. So we're racking up our rare foils. Bye-bye. Right. Only 2 packs left after this. Wounded. So look at the top card of your library. You may put that card into your graveyard, draw a card. Oh, why am I reading these out? These are the commons, right. So raise the effigy. Oh, I know why. It's because I've never seen him before because I've not got any Midnight Hunt. Raise the effigy. That's got some nice duality to it. Siege Zombie, Homestead Courage, Parish Blade Trainee, End the Festivities, Rural... I'm sure I watched a video. End the Festivities deals 1 damage to each opponent and each creature and planeswalker they control. I suppose that's quite a good weenie wipe, isn't it, for 1 red. Rural Recruit. That's a lot of rurers. Binding Geist. And then we're on to our uncommons. So Vampire Socialite. Jewel Craft Trainer. Retrieve. Groom's Finery. Tovolar, the Dire Overlord. So 1 green, 1 red, 1 colourless. Whenever a wolf or werewolf you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more wolves and or werewolves, it becomes night, then transform any number of human werewolves you control. Daybound. Tovolar, the Midnight Scourge. Whenever a wolf or werewolf you control deals combat sets that drawing a card bit again, and then 1 green, 1 red and colourless. Target wolf or werewolf you control gains +X/+0 and gains trample until end of turn. That seems all right. And that's a nice rare. And we've got Winged Portent, 2 blue and 1 colourless, and it's also a cleave. So 2 blue and 1 colourless would be draw a card for each creature with flying that you control. And if you pay the cleave cost, which is 1 blue, 1 green, 4 colourless, then it's just draw a card for each creature you control. So that's quite cool. And then we've got a Nurturing Presence in foil. Put that over there. Oh, that worked out. Nice. Go away. Right. Next pack then. Onto the commons. Might of the Old Ways. Falcon Abomination. Neonate's Rush. Defenestrate. I just love that word, defenestrate, that's a cool word. Blood Fountain, Serpentine Ambush, Supernatural Rescue, Ancestral Anger. 1 red for target creature gains trample and gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is 1 plus the number of cards named Ancestral Anger in your graveyard. That's pretty cool. And then onto the uncommons, Faithful Mending. You gain 2 life, draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. And it's got flashback. Vengeful Strangler. Oh, that's a day and night card. Magma Pummeler. That's hilarious. What does that do, actually? 2 red and X colourless. Magma Pummeler enters the battlefield with X+1/+1 counters on it. If damage would be dealt to a Magma Pummeler whilst it has a +1/+1 counter on it, prevent that damage and remove that many +1/+1 counters from it. When 1 or more counters are removed from Magma Pummeler this way, it deals that much damage to any target. That seems quite cool, actually. I like that. Sigardian Paladin. Oh, look at that. There's a purpley bit there. As long as you put 1 or more +1/+1 counters on a creature this turn, Sigardian Paladin has trample and lifelink. Oh, that's pretty cool. Cobbled Lancer. As an additional cost to cast this spell, oh no, or whatever. Oh, Teferi. Nice. So Teferi, who slows the sunset. 1 blue, 1 white, 2 colourless. Another mythic, so that's cool. Choose up to 1 target artifact. So for he comes in with 4 loyalty. And then to get +1 loyalty, choose up to 1 target artifact, up to 1 target creature, and up to 1 target land. Untap the chosen permanents you control. Tap the chosen permanents you don't control and gain 2 life. For -2, look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 1 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. And then for lose 7, you get an emblem with untap all permanents you control during each opponent's untap step, and you draw a card during each opponent's draw step. Okay, that seems pretty cool. He's cool. Malevolent Hermit. 1 blue, 1 colourless, and it's 1 blue, sacrifice the Hermit, counter target non-creature spell unless its controller plays 3 colourless, and it's got Disturb. So you can play it from your thingamajigger, whatever it's called, discard pile, graveyard. Graveyard, there we go. We knew we'd get there at some point and remember what it's called. And then Eaten Alive in foil. Doesn't seem the best way to go. So the last one, people. 2, 4, so 6 mythics seems pretty good and pretty cool. It's a shame we didn't get the Meat Hook Massacre. That would have been cool. That card looks pretty good. So Candlelit Cavalry, Drown Yard Amalgam, back to not being able to read. An Ardent Elementalist. When Ardent Elementalist enters the battlefield, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. That seems quite cool, bit expensive but nice. Tireless Hauler, Rot-Tide Gargantua, a Selhoff Entomber, Unholy Officiant, as Unholy and, oh no, I think I've just naffed that up myself. Unholy Officiant, Reckless Impulse, Rise of the Ants, that's just cool. So many moons ago, back when the world, well, had more ozone basically, and my dad was young, he had like these Dan Dare, he had like Eagle Annuals, which was an old British comic, an old English comic, and in it there's this Dan Dare story where Dan Dare goes to the moon and him and Digby, like, they get picked up by these massive monster ants. So that artwork there is just really reminiscent of that, because that whole strip in that Eagle Annuals in black and white pencil effectively. So that's really reminiscent of that. That's lovely. 2 green, 4 colourless, create 2 3/3 green insect creature tokens, you gain 2 life. And then it's also got a flashback, so you can do it from your graveyard. I think that's my favourite card that I've opened today, just because of that. That's awesome. Cathartic Pyre, Hero's Downfall, Dawnheart Geist, Dormant Grove, and then we've got Catilda, the Dawnheart Prime. That looks gnarly in black and white, just for the fine detail of it. That's really cool. So 1 white, 1 green, a 1/1 creature with protection from werewolves. Human creatures you control have tap, add 1 mana of any of this creature's colours. So that's pretty gnarly. So it allows you to just regenerate more, doesn't it? And then for 1 white, 1 green, and 4 colourless, and tap it, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. I'm sure I've seen that card somewhere else, or that name anyway. All right, that's awesome. Oh, and then we've got Grolnok the Omnivore. He's cool. Whenever a frog you control attacks, mill 3 cards. Whenever a permanent card is put into your graveyard from your library, exile it with a croak counter on it. You may play lands and cast spells from among cards you own in exile with croak counters on them. That's pretty cool. Whenever a frog you control attacks, mill 3 cards. Whenever a permanent card is put into your graveyard from your library, exile it with a croak counter. Graveyard, library. Oh, right, I get you. That's pretty cool. For 1 blue, 1 green, and 2 colourless. And then we've got a lovely Bramble Worm for our last foil. I think it's all about the ants, really, isn't it? That's super cool. Right, okay, well, that doesn't seem too bad. We've got 2 Planeswalkers out of there, Chandra and Teferi, although obviously I have no idea what a Planeswalker is, because as a noob Magic player, I just don't know anything about Planeswalkers. You know, those guys from Wizards of the Coast told us that. So, but yeah, they seem pretty cool. I thought I had her already, but it doesn't really matter, because they just look gnarly. That Cultivator Colossus looks cool as well. So, thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching the video with me. It's been a pleasure. As I said, I've been waiting to open this for donkeys. So, yeah, I'm really happy. I'm really happy with my cards. And try and add them into some decks and see what stank we can make out of them. Anyway, bye-bye.
If you enjoyed this episode of Two Man Meta, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay up to date as we release multiple episodes each week. If you would like to help support the channel, check out the links in the description below, as well as links to our social media pages. Thank you for watching. See you next episode.